Couple things. One, it's that time of year where the Celtics play up all their injuries, and now they're all going to try and play Willis Reed, and they're all grinding through these debilitating injuries. And look at these Warriors going out there on a nightly basis. I guarantee you, every other call from Grandy here into the playoffs are going to be what they overcome given all the injuries and physical pain that they're dealing with. This happens every year. They set up this false drama with their injuries and how banged up they are.
They've been a MASH unit.
And it's off-putting. I'm calling it out now. I'm just going to ignore it, but it's coming. Get ready for it. They're all going to have, the absolute will and guts and toughness of this team to overcome their injuries as they get past the Orlando Magic and Indiana Pacers on the way to the Eastern Conference Championship, this gritty group of champions. It's coming. I'm calling it out now. They're probably all fine or nothing's terribly wrong above and beyond any wear and tear that you would have through an 82-game season. But here comes all this fake Celtics injury drama. It happens every year.
Why, you don't see them as overachievers?
See, here's what I want to ask then. If that knee is so bad, and I listened to the whole Jaylen Brown press conference last night, 7-8 minutes, whatever it is, about 75% of it was on his effing knee. The knee this, the knee that. If it's such a big issue, why was he playing?
Good question.
Why is he playing?
Excellent question.
Why is he playing? Okay, I'm not sure who that was who was asking the question, but he got around to a good question. Now in the NBA, they make you pay 65 games to qualify for postseason awards.
Correct.
Or first team, second team, third team, all NBA, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got it. Thank you. So you've got to reach that threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Is he playing because being third team all NBA is important to him?
No.
He says no. So then why is he playing?
Well, bonuses are on the line for stuff like that. I mean, that matters.
What kind of he's got his money.
He didn't like the question. That's why he said no.
It's a totally good question.
Oh, of course it's a good question.
But what you tell me, Jimmy, do you know what his bonuses are in his contract?
I'm just about to Google that.
So is it he's the second highest paid player in the history of the NBA. But he's playing. So listen, you get to pick one or the other, Celtics fan. Joe Murray, Skaz, Green Teamers, pick one or the other. He's playing up the injury. He's not really that hurt. He's just playing it up for this fake drama that we get every year with the Celtics. They have to, it's not just enough that they're good and they win. They have to overcome this ridiculous adversity. So either he's playing it up and it's dramatized, or it's real. The knee's a problem, and he's putting selfish goals ahead of team goals by continuing to play through a knee injury because he wants to be third team All-NBA or he wants to hit some contract incentive that I don't even know about.
$2.2 million.
2-2 to make third team All-NBA?
Yep.
And he's got to play 65 games.
Correct.
I mean, that's still real money.
Yeah, sure it is. How many games has he played?
60.
So if the knee's so bad, he played the All-Star game, right?
I think so, yeah.
But,
yes.
But he sat out a couple games before the All-Star game,
Correct,
right?
he did.
So it's one of these things.
Yep.
Like he was banged up or not well enough to play in games that mattered, but he played the All-Star weekend. Okay. So you got to tell me about Jaylen Brown here on that one. But if the knee's bad, he should be resting. Instead, he's playing to get an incentive? Okay. That's one. You can either do that, or he's faking the injury. He's just playing up the injury for drama. Pick one or the other. There's no third one, is there?
Well, no, not if there's something significant enough for him to manage, to use his word.
They don't need these games. They're locked into the 2 seed.
No, they don't need these games.
For all intents and purposes.
No, they don't.
And he goes on and on. I mean, Washburn, give me the Washburn. He's like on and on and on about the knee. Get ready. You had 2 months of knee talk.
Is this something that's been gradual to lead to this, or was it one incident that kind of led to this?
I think gradual. I've seen some specialists and stuff like that, but we got a great medical staff and we got good people around. So come playoffs, my goal is to be feeling my best. So we just working through that, and it's a thing that we kind of manage and you push through. But you know, we got a good plan in place. So come playoffs, my goal is to be feeling my best.
Okay. Just on and on and on about the knee. So listen, pick one. It's one or the other. The knee's fine. And he's playing it up because it's just what they do. Celtics like to play up these injuries and then act like warriors when they win a playoff game.
I'm going with that.
Or, two, he's got a real knee issue, and he wants to get his 65 games to get third-team All-NBA and get his 2.2 and get the status that's really important in the NBA to be one of these All-NBAs. I get it. But he's risking his health to be third-team All-NBA? Pick one.
Can I give you another one?
Sure.
And you can maybe look at it as selfish. So now it's looking at it's being noticed nationally, and rightfully so, that Jason Tatum doesn't miss time. I mean, he just rolled his ankle, looked bad the other day. He's still back out there.
Oh, don't think we haven't heard the last of that one.
Right, but maybe
Because here comes the Celtics injury drama. It's like clockwork every year. Go ahead.
Brown is trying to prevent this, narrative that folks like us would, sink our teeth into. I'm like, well, I mean, if Tatum can play through stuff, you can't. So I'm not going to take time off right now. So
So he's risking his future health
still selfish. Yeah.
and the viability of the Celtics in the playoffs to prove a point that he's as durable as Jason Tatum. Okay, I'll give you the third one. Fine. Pick one of the three, Celtics fans.
I'm going with the first one, hyping the drama.
He's totally fine, and he's hyping the drama.
Yeah, well, and people are asking about it, too, in part because these games don't mean anything, so that's a more relevant story to the media. So, like, some of it I put on the media. But I don't think there's anything major. He wouldn't have been out there.
I'm going with the incentives. That's real money. Get that money.
And this is where I sort of come to the team. Let's just say there is some sort of injury. I put that on the team too. Your job is to tell them no. That's your job. That's the coach's job. That's the GM's job. He's got his contract. The incentive really doesn't mean all that much.
Is that the way it works, or do they just...
No, listen, they
just
cater
sort
to
of-
the players.
They cater to the stars.
Yeah, no, they totally do. But at some point, someone should be able to say, no, we're not doing it that way. So you're going to have to make a better decision than that one way or the other. So, but I also put it on them. I'm not saying Brown's exempt. You're misunderstanding. I'm saying I hold them both accountable.
Sure.
Like they're both accountable.
Pick one. Pick one. He's just faking it to add to the drama. In which case, when Grandy gives you the final call with look at these Warriors, the grit and balls and the toughness of this team, you have to ignore it. And you can do that. Just tell me that's fake. They're faking it. Or he's putting the team's viability at risk for personal gain, whether that be an incentive or proving some point vis-a-vis Tatum. Pick one. Pick one or the other. There is no other one. There's no other one. It's just sort of, I also know how they just talk about it. Talk. I mean, the press conference was just all about the F and knee. So if it's just so much on the knee, why don't you sit down?
So, and that's a part of it that he can control. Just because they're asking, that doesn't mean you have to answer.
Okay.
I'm fine. Leave me alone. I'm good.
right.
I wouldn't be out there if I couldn't play.
The Celtics, the second Celtics point I want to make is on what should have happened last night, but didn't because they were so bad. But what should have happened last night is they should have set an NBA record for 3-point makes and attempts. And it is just a matter of time before it happens. It'll probably happen in the next game. I think they are now 7 makes short of the NBA record for made 3-pointers in a season with 6 games still to go. Mm-hmm. Or what? How many games are left? I'm sorry. They have...
They're 58 and 20, aren't they? I'll check.
So 58 and 20, that means there's only 4 games left?
I think, let me check. 56 and 20. So they get 6 games
6
left.
games left. So they will basically set the record with 5.5, call it, games still left to go.
Right.
That's how far and away they have taken 3-pointers. And the attempts they might have set last night, I'm not sure. They are on the verge of doing both. Again, reading from the Associated Press, this year's Celtics will go into the playoffs having set league records for 3-pointers made and attempted in a season. The Celtics are the first team in NBA history to take 63 pointers in a game 5 times in the same season. They're up to 1,344 made threes this season. Again, this was before last night, just 19 away from matching the record Golden State set 2 seasons ago. They've tried 3,636 threes this season.
How many again?
3,636.
Holy crap.
Which is 85 away from the record Houston set in 2018-2019. So I don't know how many they attempted last night. But again, the record for makes and attempts will probably fall in the next game. And they will then still have 5 games to go after that. And that's how many three-pointers they've taken and how far and away they've just blown away the field historically when it comes to three-pointers.
And that was the D'Antoni Rockets, right? That had to be the D'Antoni Rockets.
It was.
Which is further evidence of, like, people used to mock that offense.
You bet. That's what you are. Just with better players.
Chuck and duck.
And
more
players who actually play defense.
And right, absolutely, Jimmy. To be fair, you're not the Rockets. But the three-point attempt thing that's Mike D'Antoni ball. But the whole league has gotten stupid. Boston is one of 15 clubs poised this season to break their own franchise record in three-pointers made, three-pointers attempted, or both. Some teams like Chicago, Cleveland, Portland, and San Antonio have already set those records with 2 weeks left to go in the season. So again, fully half the league will set franchise records for attempts and makes this season in the NBA.
Yeah, but go ahead and tell me that like too many threes is like a made-up narrative, though. People that
Did people
I
say
just
that?
feel like you're just like old and you don't get how the game is now. There's not too many threes. This is how it's played now. Like that's ridiculous. That number's ridiculous.
And next year will be worse.
Right. It's just going to keep going up.
Now past 30,000 made three-pointers for the 4th consecutive season. The NBA is on pace to smash the current total records for three-pointers made and attempted in a season. The league record, follow me, of 31,500 made threes was set last season, and the record of 86,500 attempted was set in the 2021-22 season. At the current pace, 33,000 made threes is within reach, and 92,000 of them being attempted is also within reach. Again, they're on pace for 33,000 makes,
Yep.
92,000 attempted. The previous record was 31.5 made and 86.5 attempted. So they're about to smash the already ridiculous records in terms of three-pointers attempted and three-pointers made.
And again, next year will be higher.
To wit, Maz, along those lines, this will be the 17th time in the last 22 seasons that the NBA has seen more three-pointers than ever before. Okay? So this is akin to, like we saw about this in baseball with the strikeouts. That every single year, they were on a run of 7 straight years, 12 out of 13 straight years, some stupid number like that, where they set a major league record for strikeouts. And what is baseball doing about it? They're trying to correct it. They're changing rules, whether that's pitch clock. They're tinkering around with ideas about how to keep starters in the game. They're putting a stop to it. And it's just a matter of time until they do it. And I'm here to tell you that day is upon us in the NBA. We have reached a tipping point with three-pointers. And the Celtics are the prime example of it and the worst offender of it, if you will. And they're the ones who have embraced it more than any other. But we're about to see a correction. And I don't trust that it's going to come through style of play because, as has been proven in baseball, when the analysts take hold of the game and max optimization and it's all run by the analysts, the players aren't enough to self-correct. Like, the players themselves, well, why outlaw the shit? Why outlaw the shift? Just go the other way. It's too hard. The players couldn't do it. So the league had to ban it itself.
Oh, yeah, no, you have to litigate it.
So there was
legislate it. Is what I mean.
Oh, well,
Legislate.
okay, so all these teams are geared up for home runs. Why don't you just put the bat on the ball and hit base hits? Players couldn't do it, wouldn't do it. The player, if you
The
leave
geeks won't let them.
the geeks won't let them, and the players aren't good enough to do it. It has to come from the rules, and baseball's the prime example. The game got out of whack. The analysts took way too big of a hold on the game. They've started to control the game, change the way the game is played, and the players weren't enough to get it back on track, so you had to change the rules. Baseball's in the process of it. Basketball's next. The three-pointer thing has reached a tipping point. This is all about to change, folks. I would say you've heard it here first, but I don't know if I'm the first to say it. But the leagues and the sport is about to correct itself because basketball with the three-pointer has reached a point that baseball reached a while ago.
It's out of control.
With how they played it. And again, I reject that this started with Steph Curry. I mean, people say Steph Curry changed the way the game's played. That's not what happened. analytics took over basketball like analytics took over baseball. Not every team, no one has Steph Curry, yet all these teams are shooting as many three-pointers as Steph Curry.
Correct.
So that's not Steph Curry. There's not a bunch of Steph Currys running around out there. There's a bunch of 7-foot stiffs who would never think to shoot the basketball who are now shooting three-pointers. Why? Because the analysts told them it's the most efficient shot in basketball.
Mike, it's the equivalent of launch angle. Like in launch angle, it's all about let's go for the big blow, the home run, and basketball's doing the same thing.
And baseball has started to address it. Basketball's next. It's coming. I would say you heard it here first, but maybe you didn't. But you heard it here. It's coming.
You heard it here early.
The Ringer just did a great story on this, too. Kirk Goldsberry wrote, and he writes a big, long take out about the history of the three-pointer and the arc of the three-pointer. I know I'm talking about the arc itself, the arc of the story. The story starts in 1979 when they approved the rule. For nearly a century, all field goals have been worth 2 points. Suddenly, in 1979, so-called home run shots from 24 feet were worth 3. Fans loved the new wrinkle. On October 12th, 1979, as Larry Bird made his debut for the Celtics, his teammate Chris Ford made the first three-point field goal in NBA history. I remember these days. This is right in the heart of my Bucks season ticket
It was a set shot.
holder. I want to say Ernie Grunfeld hit our first. And I remember those days. I remember the first year of the three-pointer. I remember when Ernie Grunfeld or Brian Winters.
Very good.
Or one of our guys. I remember. I want to say when they hit the first one, because I remember it. The place exploded, and the place was like, "Oh my God, he's trying it!" And it went in, and like I remember it in '79 or that era. It was a novelty, and it was fun. 45 plus years later, writes the Ringer, on the same stretch and same patch of land that Chris Ford hit his first three-pointer, the Celtics missed 43 of a staggering 63 three-point tries in a loss to the OKC Thunder. They made 41 shots total. In one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the entire regular season and a potential NBA Finals preview, two of the best basketball teams in the world combined to miss 67 three-pointers in 48 minutes of play.
Unbelievable.
Of that game's 176 total field goal attempts, 100 were three-pointers, 76 were twos. And the writer asks, are three-pointers still lovely when they make up 57% of a game's shots? Nearly 50 years after their debut, it's past the time to ask. The NBA's three-point arc remains in the exact same place Larry O'Brien and the Board of Governors drew it in 1979. But the shot itself has gone from novel to routine. An average 48-minute game now includes 75 shots from beyond the arc, up from 70 last season. That uptick is the biggest year-over-year increase in history. Can you imagine that? That after all these threes that have been shot, and last year, all the threes that were taken, the increase to this year is the biggest single-season year-over-year increase in the 45-plus years that this thing has been around.
Yep.
That's how much, and the Celtics are a prime example. They win the championship, and they come on and say, how can we even take it one step further?
More.
Shoot more threes.
More.
And the whole league is doing it. I told you, fully half the league is going to set franchise records for makes and attempts.
And the Celtics, I think, have increased their three-point attempt rate by what? 10, 15%?
The problem, writes the Ringer,
More.
is that, unfortunately, the arms race to take more threes doesn't necessarily mean NBA players are making more of them. Over 64% of three-point shots fail, and that rate has not changed much over time, which means the modern game consists of more and more misses from downtown. This season, we've crossed the Rubicon. For the first time, missed threes are more common than missed twos. Listen to this one. I'll stop here. Just a decade ago, in the 2014-15 season, only 3 games across the NBA slate of regular season games, only 3, included more than 50 missed three-pointers. Okay, so there were only 3 games across the entire slate of games just 10 years ago in which the teams combined to miss more than 50 three-pointers. Last season?
Can I guess?
Yep. That figure was 283.
I was going to guess 500, but go ahead.
So far this season, 451 games
Holy smokes.
have included more than 50 missed three-pointers in that game. They say that NBA action now includes exactly one missed three-point shot per minute of play. Okay, so again, just 10 years ago, only 3 games did the teams combine to miss 50 three-pointers. Last season, that was 283. This season, 451 and counting. And that was before last night's games. We're probably at 460 or who knows where we're at. We've reached the tipping point. Change is coming.
There has to be. Again, it's ridiculous.
Because no matter what the players do, no analyst is gonna reverse course and say now the 2 is more efficient than the 3. And there's a whole part of the story about the corner 3. How about the corner 3 is really thrown the thing out of whack. I won't give you those numbers, but they're going to move the line, change the line, tinker with the scoring. It's coming. It's a matter of time. Mark it down. It's coming.
I'll tell you what, I'd get rid of the corner 3 is what I would do. I would change the line. That's a place to start rather than move it way out or put a form. You know what I mean? Like the best thing to do right now is eliminate, because think of what that'll do. Like you're not going to stick guys in the corner anymore. You're just not going to do it. So I would start with that, but they got to do something.
They will. It's coming. It's just the game's gotten too out of whack. It's one thing if teams are shooting a higher percentage. They're not. As Joe Mazzulla said, he didn't say three-pointers are the most important stat in basketball. He said attempt rate, meaning he knows it's a low percentage shot no matter how you stack it up. It's just who can take the most of them.
Yeah,
and I know you guys all think it's funny, but the three-point attempt rate is the most important stat in the game of basketball.
I mean,
no, it's right. It's the basketball equivalent of to keep throwing crap against the wall.
As the Ringer said, the Celtics epitomized these trends. Back in 2022, in his first season as head coach, Joe Mazzulla laid out his philosophy. Quote, I love the three-pointer. I like math. End quote. It's a math equation.
It is.
The potential points there are crucial.
It's what sports have become.
They've become math equations.
Yeah, boring.
And the only way to get it back to the actual sport is to change the rules.
Legislate.
You got to legislate it, and it's coming. I'm not saying it's next year or the year after. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming soon, and it's coming. They're going to change this because it's hurting the game. Never mind, outside of injury, I do think the Celtics' play style is something that could potentially do them in. No team that has shot the three ball at the rate the Celtics do have ever made an NBA Finals, never mind won it. And I think that's a reason. I think when you just shoot that many threes, you fall into bad habits. It's hard to be the more physical team. It's hard to be the more aggressive team in all facets of the game when your offense is built around swinging the ball around the perimeter and taking three-pointers. We all know this. And
okay. Well, I'll disagree with you on that.
Sorry, JJ. I'm telling you, in the postseason, they're going to shoot less threes. If they don't, they'll lose. If they shoot at the same rate out there as they do in the regular season, they will get tripped up.
If they don't win the championship, it'll be because the better team won.
Or something that could happen too. But no one's a better team, JJ. Celtics are the best team.
The odds say math works, right? Math works.
Okay. I'm telling you, the only way they lose short of injury is that they shoot themselves out of games. And I'm telling you, they won't.
So here's my only question. I'll make it quick.
They're going to shoot fewer threes in the postseason.
What if the opponent also keeps shooting threes? Because if 15, I know the Celtics are shooting more, but the whole league is shooting from its ass.
Not like you.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.